Well, hello again, San Antonio, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to take you through some of the weather changes that we experience here in San Antonio. And you can tell from the video today, it is raining out here. So I'm going to try not to get too wet. It looks like it's slowed down for a bit. And we're going to see if we can get this video in. But we're going to talk about the weather conditions in San Antonio and the extreme difference between summer and winter. And we're getting after it right now. Well, we're here at one of the many parks in San Antonio. You can probably see the exercise equipment behind me on this particular trail. You can run around this park and experience a little greater exercise if you stop at the stations and work out a little bit, do the recommended exercises. So again, that's one of 450 parks, but today we're going to talk about the weather. And it is raining here in San Antonio. It's about 58 degrees right now. Last week, it was 20 degrees. We had days that were 15 degrees. So everybody got their water spigots all covered so we could prevent them from freezing and cause damage to their homes. So when that happens, you can see Home Depot and Lowe's are out of all the covers for that. And it really does cause a little ruckus. Some of the realtors will obviously go in there and buy about a dozen, and we'll take them over and protect the homes that we have on the market if they're vacant. So definitely something that you'll need to be aware of. And it's really kind of crazy that that particular extreme of weather down below freezing, when you have the intense summer heat, days over 100. This year we had, or last year I should say, we had in excess of 40 days over 100 degrees. So it does get hot. The humidity is some days unbearable, but we suit up for them all and we get out there and get after it. So once you get exposed to that, it doesn't really seem to be too bad. A lot of people take vacations in the summer to someplace cool, and that gets them out of the heat for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Maybe they take a couple of different short trips, take off for the weekend into the hill country. So there is plenty to do if you want to get out of the area and out of the heat. One disadvantage, of course, is that Texas is so big. We're 860 miles from El Paso, and we're about another 400 miles to the eastern border of Texas. So that being a big state, it does restrict you if you're going to take a driving vacation looking for cooler weather, but you're going to have to do it one way or the other. You can either drive it, fly it, ride it, but it's always a good idea to seek someplace cool in the summer. In the wintertime, you're going to have to bear with it. Night before last, we got over 6 inches of rain, and that is just tremendous. Some places in the country barely see 6 inches of rain in an entire year. But here, when it rains, it can pour. And that is going to add a little more challenge to the driving conditions. And I've already talked about the driving here in San Antonio. If there's one thing I could tell you, we all need to slow down. If you've ever ridden a motorcycle, I'll take you through a little scenario. When it first starts to rain, there is oil down the center of the lanes. When the rain begins, that oil spreads quickly across the entire lane. And once that happens, it gets slick, and it gets slick in a real hurry. The other night, there were cars that were actually underwater, because when San Antonio says they have a flood warning, they mean they got a flood warning. When we've got warnings like that, you can pick them up on Siri, you can pick them up on your iPhone, you can pick them up on Alexa in your homes, you can pick it up on the news. But you better be careful if you're going to be out there driving. These torrential downpours are very treacherous. Yesterday, we were out filming a video and saw a car that was up to its windows in water in one of the turnarounds. And that was because they probably didn't pay attention. Cars were spinning out, hydroplaning because of the torrential downpour. And it was a very, very serious condition. I had to be out as I was coming home during this, and there were two cars that were turned around on Interstate 35 facing the wrong direction. So there can be some surprises, and it's really simple. Just slow down in the wintertime when it starts to rain. Last week, what happened was the overpasses, when it got down below freezing, the overpasses actually collect ice. And when that happens, they get slick, as you might imagine, and people wreck out on the overpasses. They spin out, other cars run into them, and you've got yourself a wreck fest, and everybody's late for work. They've wrecked their days, they've wrecked their cars, and they probably wrecked their insurance rates. So you need to just be careful and be aware that we have those types of conditions here in San Antonio. So flooding is one area that we struggle with here in San Antonio. Our drainage is really pretty good, but very few areas can tolerate the amount of rain that we can get when it really fires up. When you get an inch of rain an hour, that is just unbelievable. Now, a few years ago, we did have a significant flood here in San Antonio. We got over 6 inches of rain for 8 days in a row. So you figure that out. We had 48 inches of rain in a short period of time. The rivers were full. They overflowed. They took some of the homes down in there. And I know you out in California, you're familiar with the mudslides. Well, we had our own version that year here in San Antonio and the surrounding areas of the hill country. So it can be brutal, but our advice is always stay inside, stay put, be well stocked, have plenty of groceries, plenty of water. Doesn't hurt to carry a blanket in your car if you're going to be out during the cold winter months. If you get stuck somewhere, it's nice to have a little extra heat. So have plenty of water and plenty of blankets to stay warm. Make sure your cell phone is charged at all times. You never know when you're going to need it, and we've got a power outage. You might remember about 3 years ago, we did have a winter storm in February that put down 3-4 inches of snow here in San Antonio. It took the power out. There were very few homes that remained with power. Most of those were in the areas of hospitals because the grid there overrides the system, and those people had power throughout. So one consideration could be supplying a generator, although we probably won't need another generator for 30 years. But a lot of people did buy them. They have them. They've installed them. Certain homes do have them. And it might be something to look at when you come to San Antonio. So if I could offer a tip, slow down when it's cool outside. If it's freezing, slow down even more and watch the traffic. You don't need to be going 80 miles an hour when it's raining outside, especially here. It's dangerous and you're looking for an accident in front of you, behind you, or cause somebody else to wreck. So be safe, use your GPS, slow down, and get there on time and get there in one piece. And we'll look forward to speaking to you on our next video. If you would, subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and let us know your thoughts, and let us know what other content we can provide for you. And we look forward to welcoming you to San Antonio soon.